That's my idea of the patriarchy, which is a system of male dominance of society.
Yeah, but that's not my sense of the patriarchy.
So what's yours?
Well, in what sense is our society male-dominated?
The fact that the vast majority of wealth is owned by men, the vast majority of capital is owned by men. Women do more unpaid labour.
Very tiny proportion of men, and a huge proportion of people who are seriously disaffected are men. Most people in prison are men. Most people who are on the street are men. Most victims of violent crime are men. Most people who commit suicide are men. Most people who die in wars are men. People who do worse in school are men. It's like, where's the dominance here precisely?
My job is to push back against these kinds of narratives. That was Canadian psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson trying to explain why we don't live in a patriarchal society. Many see this as proof to the contrary of what we know and understand isn't in fact male-dominated. You've probably seen this video clip all over the place titled "Owning the Feminist" or something like that. But upon further examination, all of the things Dr. Peterson named come at the command, the beck and call, the behest of men. Most people in prison are men because, as you'll see today, men commit the most violent crime. And that also lends itself to what could/should be described as man-on-man crime, along with suicide, where middle-aged white males such as Mr. Peterson are a leading demographic in that regard. Homelessness is a complex issue with many causes, including mental illness and a lack of needed services, and substance abuse and a lack of needed services. Men don't typically seek these services even if they are available. Most people who die in wars are men because all wars are started by men and fought by men, while women were prevented from and discouraged from becoming soldiers and fighting on the front lines. People who do worse in school are men, and women have to get great grades in order to break through the glass ceiling. Men are choosing not to go to college. None of these decisions are neither holding men down or putting women ahead as far as representation in Congress or at the executive level at Fortune 500 companies. Women aren't wielding power over men. So, though men benefit from patriarchy, they are also impinged upon by patriarchy.
What the hell are we going to do without men? You look around the city here, you see all these buildings go up. These men, they're doing impossible things. They're under the streets, working on the sewers. They're up on the power lines in the storms and the rain. They're keeping this impossible infrastructure functioning. The gratitude for that is sorely lacking, especially among the people who should be most grateful. It's very useful to tell everyone, not just men, that they have an important role to play, a necessary role, and that if they act properly and honestly and forthrightly, that they can put their lives together and they can help their families and they can make their communities better, and that's not toxic masculinity, that appalling phrase.
In 2019, for the first time ever, the American Psychological Association released guidelines to help psychologists work with men and boys. It was 13 years in the making and drew on more than 40 years of research showing that traditional masculinity is psychologically harmful and that socializing boys to suppress their emotions causes damage mentally and physically. You may know this as toxic masculinity, and I need to say this before I continue. Toxic masculinity refers to a specific, narrow, restrictive type of masculinity, traditional, if you will, and not masculinity as a whole. Yes, there is a toxic femininity too, and yes, women can be masculine and men can be feminine. With that out of the way, the reason why toxic masculinity among men is so heavily focused upon is because, as Mr. Peterson alluded to, men commit 90% of homicides in the United States and represent 77% of homicide victims. We're the demographic group most at risk of being victimized by violent crime. We are 3.5 times more likely than women to die by suicide, and our life expectancy is 4.9 years shorter than women's. Boys are far more likely to be diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder than girls, and boys face harsher punishments in school, especially boys of color. However, in the defense of men, males, and masculinity, why does this country harken back to war times when men killed other men from other countries in battle? If they survived, these men aren't wholesale okay today. And if we're instead talking about how this country banded together, then in part what we're talking about is a lot of feminine traits along with women stepping up. You know, Back when black people had fewer rights and women couldn't get a credit card without a man, and women could get fired for being pregnant, in addition to the difficulties of gaining a divorce from a man, even if he was overbearing and controlling and abusive. Furthermore, it was a time where all psychology, Jordan Peterson's profession, was the psychology of men. Most major studies were done only on white men and boys who represented humans as a whole. For Rebel HQ, I'm Jeff Wiggins. My architect knows Japanese. For more from the Young Turks, stay right here. If you want to see content from yours truly, click on the hashtag below. I can also be found on all socials at He Gon' Be Alright. Thanks for watching.